amidst unresolved electoral disputes before court, though one of the party developed cold feet and withdrew its petition, but other issues still remain hanging in civil and martial courts. Let's have a look.
It is just hours to the third Ordinary Inter-Party Organization for Dialogue IPOD Summit, scheduled for 5th March 2021 at Kololo Independence Grounds.
People have already undertaken the COVID tests. The venue has been prepared. The media has been invited.
However, a section of political players from the opposition side still remain skeptical about the summit.
So if I were in their shoes, if I were to be asked, and possibly I am a member of IPOD, me, I wouldn't have attended.
See, IPOD was put in place for all the right reasons. There's these political parties, especially those with representation in parliament, to be able to connect, because by virtue of the platform they occupy, these political parties offer leadership to this country. And so it was seen as a good thing for these parties to connect somehow.
In a letter dated 1st March 2021, issued by the Secretary General of FDC Party and addressed to the IPOD Council Chairperson, the party alleges that they cannot attend the 5th March Summit where its agenda remained unknown. Emmanuel Dombo, the NRM mouthpiece, has however watered down these allegations.
For even to say that you are a party president, what's its name, and you just go without a paper, without notes, without a party position, because you don't know the agenda, and you think you see as a party leader, will be a joke.
The agenda of the summit is formulated by the council, and all parties, including FDC, attended the council meeting. FDC was represented by 3 representatives at the level of a vice president.
Amidst all this skepticism and criticism, many still believe that the dialogue summit is timely.
When you see the animosity in our society, you see that the country is bleeding. So I thought IPOD would be a platform to see how we heal our country, how we talk about issues that are bringing us together.
A number of people are talking about dialoguing. IPOD is about dialogue. The Interreligious Council is talking about people talking. So I strongly believe that in this dialogue, they are going to begin promoting dialogue of the entire country, so that consensus is generated on how best we should be governed.
Although new political parties like National Unity Platform are not party to this coming summit, they are convinced its initial essence must be resurrected.
That many times they would discuss things, issues in IPOD, and none of them would be acted upon. So it became another avenue where people would meet, take a cup of tea, take pictures, and then depart. And so all these are concerns. I think that IPOD should get back to the very initial reason for why it was set up.
As of 4th March 2021, parties like National Resistance Movement, NRM, Democratic Party, Uganda People's Congress, and Justice Forum, JEMA, have so far confirmed their summit participation.
Even if it will remain the Democratic Party alone, we are committed to the dialogue process. Even if we remain alone on the table of dialogue, we will be the last to quit dialogue.
The 2021 3rd Ordinary IPOD Summit to convene this Friday 5th will be chaired by the NRM chairperson, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, and dialoguing on the election aftermath is expected to top the agenda. Robert Onyango, UBC News, Kampala.
Minister for Internal Affairs J.J. Odong has presented a list of names of missing persons said to have been abducted by security agencies. Now, while presenting the list of names that total to 117, the Minister for Internal Affairs told the House that the people in question were arrested over several crimes, and today's session was chaired by Deputy Speaker Jacob Olanya.
A few weeks ago, in his address to the nation, President Museveni said no person was missing but had rather been arrested by security organs, and consequently directed the army to produce a list of those arrested and make their names known to the public and relatives, but the same had not been complied with. However, Internal Affairs Minister General J.J. Odong Thursday presented a list of 177 people that he said have been declared as missing by the public.
I am presenting to you a list of 177 names clearly identifying the person, the date when the person was arrested, the place where the person was arrested from, the reason why the person was arrested, and the case management history, indicating where the person is now.
The minister told Parliament that 156 of the arrested were found in possession of military stores, 43 participated in riots, whereas 17 were planning post-election violence. The minister says the list has been forwarded to Police Chief Political Commissar for the public to access.
That a copy of this list is at police headquarters with the office of the Chief Political Commissar. The public is encouraged to check with that office the whereabouts of their missing persons and to get processes and permission to visit them wherever they will be indicated to be.
However, members tasked the minister to read their names and where they are detained, to which he did.
I still have people in my constituency arrested. I don't know where they are. This list, I would be glad if the Honorable J.J. Odongo can go name by name.
Who is doing it? If NRM is a strong party, a strong institution, must condemn this action and should stop it straight away.
Honorable Minister, I'm on your side, but I don't want to side with you on this matter.
I want to know my people from Karungu, and I match them with the list I have as well.
Mazi, remanded in Makindi. Kasozi Sharif, remanded in Makindi. Kasato Sambwa, remanded in Makindi. The place of present location is related to the reason for arrest.
Dissatisfied legislators, however, wondered why most of those named were detained at Machindie, yet other detention centers are allegedly also holding suspects.
Last week, as part of our oversight function, we met those people, the so-called abductees in Kitalia. And I don't know why the minister has conveniently chosen to speak about Makindye only, and yet other facilities mention Ruzira, mention Kitalia, mention Masaka, and many others. So it could be true that what the minister has been giving Parliament is only a fraction of those cases of missing Ugandans. Today, I am telling you, I am now aware of an additional 177. That does not mean I have laid the matter to rest. I am continuing to investigate, to establish the matter, and as I get additional information, I will be coming back to this House to say these are the additional names of persons I have been able to establish, and this is where they are.
The development comes as relatives of the missing persons continue to express concern over the whereabouts of their loved ones. Bernard Yiga, UBC News, Parliament.
Now, opposition-leading members of Parliament have called on government to give priority to productive sectors in the forthcoming national budget. Now, the leader of opposition, Betty Awolo-Chan, underscores the need for more funding in the agriculture sector to promote food security and more jobs for the youth. This was in response to the National Budget Framework paper for financial year 2021-2022 to 2025-2026.
In this 23-page missive, members of the opposition in Parliament have shared what they think government should focus on in the next 5 financial years, despite Leader of Opposition Betty Awolo-Chan being appreciative of Uganda's reduced borrowing stand. She says it is not enough to give the country confidence.
More still, the government policy to create more administrative centers through formation of new districts municipalities and town councils continues to undermine the revenue collection potential.
Investment in infrastructure, tourism and agriculture are among their recommendations.
Over the next 2 years, massive investment in infrastructure development related to the oil and gas sector and the related expected increase in foreign direct investment inflows have the potential to drive Uganda's economic growth.
Quite good proposals, which unfortunately members of opposition express concern as to whether government ever considers them.
I wanted to find out from the leader of government business whether the leader of opposition stands up here, speaks, brings up issues, whether they are ever taken seriously and are included in the development of this country.
So you may be in a position to say, well, you propose this, but we don't agree with you. That is okay, because you have a manifesto for which we assume that's what the country chose. So, but we need some accountability on the part of government, to what extent they have taken the alternative views from the opposition seriously.
This point of view is shared by other legislators.
So this alternative statement should have come at the point when we were debating the budget framework paper. Why? Because the Public Finance Management Act of 2015 provides that the policy statements must be consistent with the budget framework paper.
Suggest that we do not think that we take it seriously and take the recommendations and actually analyze each one such that even those ones that are just similar, we take the similarities, and then the other things that are not similar, we also take them seriously.
Over and above whatever else may have been presented, we have always allowed slot in scrutinizing the ministerial policy statement for the shadow ministers to present these reports to the committee. And normally their input somehow influences the thinking of the committee on the policy statement of the ministries.
The good news from the government side is that these fears have been allayed.
I want to assure you, Honorable, that we have been accommodating some of the recommendations that government feels that we can work on them. And we always submit a treasury memorandum of how far we have gone in implementing these recommendations.
I think if we worked like that, and if the members on the left hand of the House also continue to monitor what's in the policy statement, then all the views that we're talking about will be incorporated.
So we expect these policy statements to start coming in time to help us proceed properly. Next.
The opposition believes that these alternative proposals, if adopted, will effectively contribute to efficient execution of national priorities. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Now, Uganda can benefit more from its demographic dividend if more resources are channeled towards social development, analysts have stressed. Now, the call for resource increase was made at the Public Budget Dialogue 2021-2022 in Kampala. And based on its demographics, the country has a large population of vulnerable persons, and half of these are children who require particular and vital services.
Uganda's demographic dividend can be a pillar for socio-economic development. However, the majority of the would-be resourceful youthful population are either languishing in poverty or are educated but unemployed. The situation is exacerbated by government's national budget allocation priority list.
One of the key challenges in the current National Development Plan is that key social protection sectors, for example education and health, are registering slight declines in the amount of budget allocated to these particular sectors. This is going to be a challenge, although it's understood that it's declining because of fewer resources available as a result of COVID-19 pandemic. Nonetheless, it remains a very big challenge.
Government is urged to continue empowering women and youth socially and economically by putting in place mechanisms to access, use and control resources both at personal and community level.
As we know, an estimated 3 million additional people on top of the existing 8.7 million that are already in poverty are likely to fall into poverty. And with more than 56% of children living in multidimensional child poverty, it's a really critical issue for us to discuss and to continue the dialogue.
Investment in social development was extensively discussed at the 2021-2022 National Budget Dialogue organized by Makerere University think tank, Economic Policy Research Center and UNICEF at the Kampala Protea Hotel.
It has always been the norm. Government, same story. There is no money, there is no money. But what we are looking at here is prioritizing. We need to prioritize the social sectors. We need to prioritize education because if we don't invest in our young people, then the future of this country is going to be bad.
Social development sector falls under the National Development Plan 3 programs, human capital development, community mobilization, mindset change and governance and security programs. Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
The force commander of the African Union mission in Somalia, AMISOM, Lieutenant General Diomede Ndegea, and Somalia's Chief of Defense Forces, General Odoa Yusuf Rage, yesterday visited the headquarters of Uganda AMISOM forces in Mogadishu and held discussions with top military commanders. Troops from the Uganda People's Defense Forces serving under AMISOM are in charge of Sector 1, which includes a Lower Shabelle region of Somalia and Mogadishu, and houses the headquarters of AMISOM and international partners. The joint visit is part of the wider efforts to enhance coordination in joint military operations by AMISOM and the Somali National Army against the militant group Al-Shabaab. The force commander lauded Ugandan troops for their commitment in the implementation of the Somali transition plan, thereby setting the pace.
Allow me to congratulate through you sector commanders, both AMISOM and Somali National Army, all brave Somali National Army soldiers, UPDF, who succeeded with concrete and tangible results recently on 20 February, where 60 Al-Shabaab were put out of action within some of their high commanders. It is in sectors to engage sector commanders on asking joint offensive operations to promote the spirit of cooperation and to synchronize operations plan.
The expiry of a practicing license of Robert Chagulanyi's legal team has led to the halting of Supreme Court proceedings on the controversial withdrawal of Chagulanyi's presidential election petition. Now, this after Medad Lubega Segona, the lead counsel in Robert Chagulanyi's case, informed court on the expiry of the practicing certificates as of the 1st of March 2021.
At exactly 10:30 a.m., justices of the Supreme Court, led by Chief Justice Alfonso Winyidolo, were set to proceed with the hearing of Robert Chagulanyi's Sentamu's application, where he wants leave to withdraw the 2021 presidential election petition. Although court was set to proceed with the hearing of this case, however, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu's legal team, led by Counsel Medard Lubega Segona, brought to the attention of court the expiry of their practicing certificates, thus requesting court for guidance.
Considering the numbers, is still processing the same. The period of grace has since expired with the passing of the month of February. And unfortunately, by the time the matter was fixed, they had not renewed our certificates.
Lawyers whose practicing certificates are expired include Medard Lubega Segona, Beka Ukasha Sekanjako from Lukwagan Company Advocates, who are now the honorary counsel representing Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu in this case. The Attorney General William Byaruhanga, who did not find any reference to this issue, however, in replying to the matter before court, directed court on the way to go, raising some rules governing court.
The only item remaining was the registrar giving him clearances. That is presupposing that he has done everything else that needs to be done prior to that. Then, of course, my lord, we would have no objection to a short.
Chief Justice Alfonso Winyiro, following the submission, directed the petitioner's legal team to proceed forth with the practicing license before the day ends.
And we're making it easy for you, in case you are not yet done the other things which are required. I'm directing the Chief Registrar to give you temporary practicing certificate that will expire on the 18th of this month.
After court, Counsel Medard Lubega Segona explained to the media on the delays to acquire the alleged practicing licenses from Uganda Law Council.
We have not had our practicing certificates renewed. We needed the guidance of court because this expired on 1st, which was Monday, and we had applied. So we have now been guided with the directive that they be issued, so they will be issued. That's all I can say.
Oscar Chihika, one of the respondents' lawyers, enlightens on the procedures one has to go through to acquire a practicing license from the Uganda Law Council.
The challenges of having your practicing certificate renewed. Sometimes those challenges are self-brought if you've started the process a little bit late. Because to get a practicing certificate, you've got to get clearance from the Law Council, approving your chambers, making sure they're up to standard. You have to pay your fees to the East African Law Society and the Uganda Law Society.
John J. Tumwebaze, representing Electoral Commission, did not spare the petitioner's legal team on the way they have handled this petition.
The comedy and lies by Kyagulanyi and his lawyers must end. Even a lawyer who just left LDC yesterday knows that without a practicing certificate, you cannot appear in a village court to represent a chicken thief. How dare you then come to the Supreme Court of Uganda where you have no practicing certificate? Clearly from the time they filed this petition, it was premised on lies and conducted in such a comical manner. This is simply unfortunate. I think they need to bring this to a complete end.
Basing on the documents from these lawyers, they applied to Uganda Law Council on 10th February 2021 to renew their practicing certificates with a fee of $20,000 and also paid a fee of $500,000 to Uganda Law Society and $10 to East African Council. For every lawyer, a practicing certificate is authorized every year by Uganda Law Council and it expires every 1st March. Deborah Namamonde, UBC News.
UBC News at 8 takes a very short break. Stay tuned.
Today tastes like a new tradition, like an old favorite. Tastes like all hands on deck and all eyes on the prize. Today tastes like a piece of the action. And it never tasted this good.
Stay connected to the largest 4G network in Uganda, anytime, anywhere, using the Airtel 4G Pocket MiFi, available at only 123,000 Uganda shillings. This comes with 15 GB free, valid for a month. You can connect up to 10 users at a go and still enjoy a shared yet unmatched internet experience. Dial *175*9# to activate free 15 GB. Visit the nearest Airtel shop to get one today. Airtel, the smartphone network. Airtel is regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite show.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
We can't tolerate sexual harassment.
Sexual harassment is unacceptable in our school.
Because a good school equals a better life.
Raising voices.
That's their way of stopping HIV. What about you?
Kapo, you seem to be in a hurry. Where are you going to?
I'm gonna pay URA visit.
But you can access URA online. Why pay a visit?
To know more about the Kakasa Business Solutions, namely digital tracking solution, the voluntary disclosure program, and invoicing solution, which have turned my business around. You know I need to be on top of my game to protect my empire. If you know, you know.
I too need to know what Kapo knows.
Kakasa, be sure you are in charge of your business. Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
Wait.
No one should stop you from finishing what's yours. That's why MTN gives you data bundles that don't expire. Load MTN Freedom Bundles using My MTN app and enjoy the freedom to finish your data bundles. MTN.
Your safety while using electricity starts with having a certified technician to wire your premises. Do not use Camille
socket. Chisaka, now that the wiring is complete, how do I get power?
No, I'll get you power in my own way. And you don't even have to worry about the bills. I'll bring them myself. Is your neighbor there?
She went to work.
Does she have power?
Yes, she has.
If your neighbor has power, you have power. Desist from illegal connections because they are not only dangerous, but could lead to prosecution and death.
Chisaka, what is this?
I did not say Umeme. I am from Umeme. At Umeme, your safety is our top priority. Report illegal practices to Umeme when you detect them. Download the Umeme app for other services. Stay alert, stay safe, save lives. Umeme, powering Uganda.
Today tastes like a new tradition, like an old favorite. Tastes like all hands on deck and all eyes on the prize. Today tastes like a piece of the action, and it never tasted this good.
Your safety while using electricity starts with having a certified technician.
Welcome back from the break, and we're glad that you're still watching UBC Inspiring Uganda. This is the UBC at News at 8. I'm Lorraine Masika Kazimoto. And now into business news this evening. The creative industry in Uganda is to benefit from a financing facility from Movit Uganda. The facility is designed to support the creative industry to be able to restructure interrupted supply chains, diversify offerings, and build resilient enterprises.
Tools to create a facility by Motive will support Uganda's creative industry. The makers will be equipped with tools and skills needed to develop businesses and access markets.
What we've done is to pick, some of those resources that we have as Motive and use them across many entrepreneurs, who benefits the entrepreneur out there. We're not limiting it to say either it's artists or guys who are in carpentry.
1,000 creative entrepreneurs will be supported to receive production equipment. The facility, which is supported by MasterCard Foundation, targets young women and men looking to increase their production capacity, diversify offering, and increase market share.
You find that, well, they want a $3,000 camera or a $1,000 machine, but they can't afford it, and yet they have the skills to use it and to produce products that we can sell in Uganda and beyond. So today, Motive, we're launching Tools to Create, which will be a facility to give them the tools to create, the power to create, and then they can begin to get into business.
Uganda's labour force is largely under the age of 30 years. Although the young generation is endowed with talent, they often lack resources to set up and sustain enterprises. To set them on a decent path to social and economic path, public and private sector collaboration is encouraged.
We are witnessing negative effects of increasing youth unemployment. Therefore, it is initiatives like this one that one may find avenues for addressing the unemployment challenge that faces this country.
The United Nations 74th General Assembly in 2019 declared 2021 the International Year of Creative Economy and Sustainable Development. It is a year dedicated to promote sustained and inclusive economic growth, foster innovation, and provide opportunities, benefits, and empowerment for all. Rowena Kajumba, UBC News.
All right, I want to apologize. The financing facility is from Motive Uganda. Apologies for that. Well, UBC News at 8 comes to an end, but do join me for the 10 o'clock bulletin, that is UBC News Tonight. Until then, I'm Lorraine Masika Kazimoto. Have a good evening.